Okay, so now I am super excited because I heard Alyza speak somewhere, and I've had her on my radar. My good friend Ben Wise introduced us, and I asked her to speak. She is the head of consumer insights at Google. You were also, I love saying this, you're also a Harvard MBA. But, so I think that is brilliant because I think you're a brilliant, incredible woman. So I'm so excited to hear you. And I will pass this on. Yeah, and I will do your
Okay, thanks. I think, am I the last of the evening?
You are.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you for like 10 seconds. Stand up, stretch your legs, because I know you're all gonna be asleep in like 10 more seconds if I keep talking. So just stretch your legs. You all are way taller than I thought. Stretch your legs. Okay, great. Glad you got a good stretch. Sit down for a sec. Thank you. Bear with me. I promise I'll keep this brief and relatively interesting. And a big thank you to Alex and TechTO for having me. And what a wow panel. I am floored by LipDub. I'm going to play all your videos and check it out tonight. But yeah, I'm really, really privileged to be amongst all of you speakers. I've learned so much tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Google's up to with AI and maybe answer some basic questions. So maybe click to the next slide. Like I said, my name is Alyza. I lead consumer insights in a nutshell. That means I get to mine Google's data, be it search data, what you type into search, obviously anonymous. This is not working. Okay. And surface those insights and trends, package that to marketers to inform their advertising investments. So I do that across Canada, across verticals. Wait, before we get to that.
Allow me.
Okay. Is it gonna? Okay, I'll play. Go ahead, play the video.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. When all of these tools come together, it's a powerful combination.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It's an entire suite of different kind of possibilities.
Hi, I'm Gemini.
What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London.
Together, we're creating a new era.
Thank you. So that, in a nutshell, was Google's AI product. It's called Gemini, if you haven't tried it out today. And what you saw there was a lot of Gemini features, cool things that consumers can do with Gemini. But what you also saw was a lot of action. Actions that consumers are taking, whether it be on search, on video, whatever it is. And if 2023 was the year of like, what is AI and what is GPT and what is Gemini and what is Perplexity and all of the other buzzwords out there, 2024 we believe is really the year of action with AI. And I put this up here because it's action in a frame of consumer complexity, whether it's like the platform, the device, the content. All of that is changing, and generative AI is changing how you do this, and the speed at which you do this is changing also with generative AI. So I'm going to show you a few examples of how it's changing. We know at Google more than 15% of searches are searches that have never been seen before, globally. So if you think about that, that's like humans typing in new ways to search, new things to search, new like taxonomy of how they search, new language of how they search, things that have never been seen before. Again, going back to like complexity of how humans think, something that AI can't replace or predict. But sometimes it's pretty hard to figure out what you want to search for or how to articulate what you want to search. And so we learned that 4 out of 5 consumers say they'd find it helpful if AI allowed them to search for things that are difficult to articulate, difficult to describe. And so some products that Google recently came out with, next slide, to help with this, I'm sure some of you may have tried Google Lens. And so globally, 12 billion visual searches happen last month alone using Google Lens. And that's just you taking your phone, an Android, not gonna ask how many of you have Androids, and being able to like take a picture of something and automatically the search engine will pop up and tell you what that is. It might be something difficult to articulate, like that dress up there. How do I really describe what that is? It could take you a really long time to articulate that, but with Google Lens, you could do it pretty quickly. So it, again, goes back to how consumers think and consumers are searching. And there's a few other ways Google came out with just recently to do this. So circle to search is cool. You can circle an image and find that product, be able to discover it and purchase it with Google Lens, and then also search with video. So if you see something in a video and you're like wondering what's that cool feature or thing on that like reel, like what's this piece in that specific record player, and you don't know what it's called, you can just circle that and the video will tell you, or the search prompt will tell you what it is. So again, this just goes back to like how consumers are already embracing these tools, and it gives you a mindset of like, as businesses are evolving to embrace AI, agencies are evolving to embrace AI, consumers are evolving really quickly. And they're picking these things up, like 12 billion searches on Google Lens alone in 1 month. It's easy, it's fun, and it's making that experience, that shopping process as an example, much, much easier. Next slide. And so I go back to like the year of 2023. The big question is, what does AI do? For us at Google, and specifically in marketing, the question is a lot about how can I put AI to work to meet business objectives? And in my world, that's a lot about leading marketers and seizing the moment, seizing this AI moment. Next slide. And I go, like, what's really core to this is that the role is the same. And I fundamentally believe the marketing role is the same. We're here to translate customer connections translate that demand into profitable growth for marketers. But the way you do that is changing. And so 3 specific features here that we like to look at are measurement insights as the underscore. I think it was Kip, you said it, like your AI is only smart as the data you feed it. And so that's critical, your first party data, being able to leverage that to feed your media and personalization, and then use your generative AI creative tools to actually assist you in doing things faster and smarter. Again, it won't come up with the idea, and I agree with your presentation, and I thought that was spot on, but it'll help you and prompt you to ways to think about it and build prototypes faster. So I'll show you a couple of examples of how we think through this. On measurement, next slide, I said this, next slide. 2 questions that we think about, even internally at Google, to prompt to our team. So how are we collecting and managing first-party data? How are we partnering with marketers to manage their first-party data? And then how are they using that data and their marketing tech to prepare for third-party cookie deprecation, but also to use that data to harness to meet customers in a much more relevant and personalized way. And so this takes you to media. Next slide. If we look at media specifically, this is a common problem that many marketers would try and agencies would try and solve for. Show my product to an 18 to 25-year-old woman with an interest in pickleball shoes. Now you can say, sell my product profitably, wow, to whoever's interested in it. And if you just look at those two, like the difference there, you're able to really pause and think about your business objective and articulate that to the AI, whether it be revenue, profit, minimizing costs, whatever it is, articulate that business objective and let the AI do the work for you to find the best channel, customer, format to deliver to that customer, and to deliver that profit and business objective. And so it really is like using the human intellect and focusing your brain on being really smart on what's the business objective. Let's take all of this intellect in this room and get that right, and we can trust the machine and test the machine, be it an AI-powered campaign or whatever tool you're using, to drive that business objective, and then compare it against a non-AI-powered campaign. Recommend you compare it, because sometimes it doesn't work that well. And check it out and see what's that performance look like. How do you need to tweak the relevant campaigns to make it more effective for you? And finally, your creative. So next slide. This is just a testament to what I think we heard already from maybe it went off. A testament to what we heard from Courage already. 80% of marketers deem creative quality is key to marketing effectiveness. No surprise there, creative really can help land the message. But the questions that we ask to do this at Google is, even in my own work, how are you using generative AI to generate assets, spark ideas, and move faster? I think about this a lot of the time with my team. I'm not looking for AI to come up with the idea. I'm actually expecting them to use AI to scale that idea, to evolve that idea, to finesse that idea, to show me a prototype of that idea. But I don't expect the AI to come up with the original idea. And then how are you using those tools to scale creative across devices? This is where our work in working with like some of the largest marketers in Canada really comes into play. So once you've got great ads and great formats and great creative, how do you scale that versioning, if you will, across multiple platforms, devices, and our tools have been helpful there. So obviously I work for Google and I have to say this, but there are many platforms that you can use to do this well, and we've heard from some of those already. One plug, next slide, is this course. So Alex already mentioned it, Google AI Essentials. We can send out the link after. It's accessible to anybody. I would actually argue it's more like consumer friendly than business friendly. It just goes through the basics of AI. What is an LLM? How does it work? What is grounding of like technical terms in AI? How do you use it? How do you interpret it? It's a really simple course. You can finish it in a day if you want. Binge the course, and I found it incredibly helpful to upskill me, to upskill my team. So I highly recommend.
That's amazing. And I took it as well, and I thought it was excellent. So thank you very, very much. One question for Team Google? Sure, yep.
Hi, Alyza, great presentation. I just would like to ask you, how do you connect neurolinguistic programming with your analysis, Google analysis, or the farm result you find? To understand the consumer behavior better, or to understand the trends?
Yeah, this one. Okay. So is your question, how do we connect like our models, our language models, with the data we have to understand trends?
I'm curious to understand, how do you see neurolinguistic programming to understand the consumer behavior in this AI era?
Okay. So the way we think about it as Google is that behavior is constantly changing, right? And so that actually feeds into the way that, at least in my role, when I look at consumer insights, and I look at patterns across different verticals, be it telco, finance, whatever it is, we use that data and those patterns to feed what we surface on insights. And so if I'm seeing a trend, perhaps, let's say, consumers are more swift to respond to like changes in macroeconomic activity. Interest rates went down today. And we see a faster evolution of customer reaction than we had seen in previous interest rate cuts. That's something that I can pressure test with the data we have to know that if it's like inherently in fact different versus previous years, we would have never had that capability before. Our data models have evolved so much because of this.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you coming. So look,